Hi, my friends and viewers, I'm Faye. Welcome to my channel. In this October, I embarked on a self-driving and hiking trip in western Sichuan. I'm starting from Dujianyan and traveling about 780 kilometers in 3 days, passing through Garze Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture and Alpine Tibetan and Qiang Autonomous Prefecture, where the Tibetan and Qiang ethnic minorities live in Sichuan. The average altitude here is over 3,000 meters, with a lot of tall mountains, deep canyons, and wild grasslands. On this trip, we're gonna walk through canyons and hike in the mountains. Along the way, we will also enjoy the beautiful scenery with alpine lakes and grasslands, visit Tibetan Buddhist temples, and have a taste of Sichuan cuisine. We set off on October 2nd. Because it was National Day holiday, we decided to take off real early in the morning so we could avoid heavy traffic jams. After taking the little snails in the car, I woke up and found myself at Sigunyang Mountain in Xiaojin County. But there were so many thick clouds that we didn't get to see the snow-capped mountains. Well, just leave our luck for the next time. Sigunyang Mountain is known for its rich and diverse natural landscapes, such as snow-capped mountains, forests, lakes, and meadows. It is often called the Alps of the East. There are abundant outdoor activities such as high-altitude mountaineering, hiking, and rock climbing, and is also a resort for outdoor sports lovers. The western Sichuan region is right at the junction of the Changlie Temple Plateau and the Sichuan Basin. The mountains are super high, the valleys are real deep, and the weather is tentative. You never know how the weather is going to go, but that's part of what makes it mysterious and beautiful, as well as a bit risky. The soil piled up on the roadside shows that a mudslide happened here a few days ago. This area got a lot of mountains and deep canyons, which are conducive to the formation of rainwater. Besides, this area is in an earthquake zone. The famous Wenchuan earthquake happened near here. Fragile mountains and rain erosion are triggers for landslides and mudslides, so you should pay special attention in the rainy season when you come to western Sichuan. The houses by the roadside are Jiayulacuo Tibetan dwellings. Generally, they are 2 or 3 stories high, made of stone and wood. The outside walls of the houses are mostly white. The thick wall and small window can stand up to the cold climate and strong winds of the plateau. The roof is usually flat. There's piled foliage or crops drying in the sun on it. At the 4 corners or in the center of the roof are often decorated with religious symbols like Tibetan prayer flags and wind horse flags. They're designed to carry prayers and blessings by flapping in the wind. At noon, we finally got to Dangling village in Danba County. Here keeps the most original natural scenery, surrounded by mountains. Since we didn't book accommodation in advance, we only found a homestay that still had rooms left in the village. Although the accommodation was a little bit run down, at least there was a place to rest. There are 3 alpine lakes near Dangling village, namely Hulu Lake, Jiayulacuo Lake, and Jiayulacuo Lake, with an average altitude of more than 4,000 meters. It's about 7 kilometers from Dangling village to Hulu Lake. You can walk there or take a motorcycle of local Tibetans. In addition, you can also pass through Jiayulacuo Lake and Xiaqianglashan Mountain to reach Jiayulacuo Lake, which requires camping at the mountain for 1 night. After a quick rest, we are ready to go to Hulu Lake. Since it was already kind of late and we didn't get enough rest today, there would be a bigger risk of getting high altitude sickness during the trip to Hulu Lake. So we finally decided to take a motorcycle. But I gotta say that every bump from the motorcycle made my heart jump right up to my throat, like I might get thrown off any second. The crazy shaking made me hold on tight to the handrail and my body tense up without me even realizing it, making me excited and nervous at the same time, like I was having some wild adventure. The place where the motorcycle stops is still a long way from Hulu Lake, and this part of the distance can only be walked. It turns out that choosing to take a motorcycle with rest, the discomfort caused by the high altitude is gradually coming. Now with every step I take, I can feel the heaviness of my legs, headaches, and fatigue. There's a Chinese proverb that says, "If you come, make the best of it." I try to adjust my breathing, gradually calm down my state of mind, and focus on the scenery around. Hulu Lake is made up of two lakes, one big and one small, in the shape of a gourd. The water is clear and calm, just like a mirror. When it's a nice day, it can reflect the surrounding mountains, blue sky, and white clouds. But today, Hulu Lake is a little bit shy, hidden by the thick fog. Its outline gets all blurry like a dreamy secret place. We found a horse by the lake. It was focusing on eating the green grass on the ground, not bothered by the surroundings at all, and enjoying its own food time with all its heart. There are also all kinds of wild ornamental plants around the lake. This is a widow orchid, mainly found in temperate and cold zones. This is an Alpine rhododendron, which is really common in the high mountains of western Sichuan. Fortunately, after a while, the fog gradually cleared up, and the real look of Hulu Lake started to show. I stood quietly by the lake, feeling the breath of nature. On the way down the mountain, the weather suddenly changed, and it started to hail. These hailstones were like hot pebbles pouring down from the sky. After a while, the hail got bigger and bigger, and we had to stop and wait until the hail ceased. Fortunately, the hailstones came and went quickly, and soon we set off again and returned to Dangling village. When I woke up in the morning, we saw the sea of clouds in the mountains. We had a simple breakfast at a Tibetan's place and set off for the next Alpine lake. Walking along a winding mountain road, we could see the rocks that rolled down from the mountain because of the rain. As the altitude increases, only some cold-resistant pines and cypress trees remain in the mountains. The mountaintop was shrouded in thick fog, which looks very mysterious. This is wind horse flag on the roadside with scriptures printed on it. Tibetans believe that when the wind blows the flag means they are chanting scriptures. We arrived at the starting point of the Jiayulacuo lake. There were yaks and horses raised by Tibetans in the fence next to it, eating grass leisurely. We started our hike from here. This journey takes about 5 kilometers, and the altitude rises from 3,500 meters to 4,200 meters. The oxygen content here is only 60% of what is in the plains. I must overcome the headache and tiredness caused by lack of oxygen, so it's a big challenge for me. Today's route is much flatter compared to yesterday. The hiking route follows the open grasslands in the mountains, with nearby Tibetan houses and dogs wrestling in the grass. In August of this year, I went to the Lake District in Austria, where the scenery was similar to the countryside in the Alps. During the hike, we came across a shy yak that ran away from us from a distance. Of course, if you can't take the high altitude sickness, you can also choose to take a Tibetan motorcycle. It costs 80 yuan one way and 160 yuan for the round trip. This is a pretty good income for the local Tibetans. This is usually the fractal wing on the roadside. It grows in places with good natural environment. It's hard to see outside of Western Sichuan, but it's very common here. If you see this plant, it means the air quality where you are must be very good. During the break, I decided to go to the mountain behind and found a few yaks. They found this undisturbed place and were happily grazing. Besides, this is the 6-word mantra of Tibetan Buddhism, engraved on a stone by the Tibetans for making blessings. There are many Alpine lakes in western Sichuan. Some of them are barrier lakes formed by earthquakes, and some are glacial lakes formed by ancient glacial movements. The stream next to it flows down from Jiayulacuo Lake. As the altitude increases, the vegetation and the roadside becomes sparser, and the top of the mountain gradually exposes rocks. At half a month, this place will be covered with ice and snow. During the hike, I encountered a cute golden retriever. The physical strength of this golden retriever is beyond our imagination. It has been running happily as if it has endless energy. Finally, Jiayulacuo Lake came into our sight. The azure blue water looked like a gem dropped from the sky. Mountain lakes can reflect different colors because of the minerals washed away by the mountains. After staying for a while, I decided to go to a higher place to enjoy the lake view. Although my legs were very heavy now, I was still excited to climb up the mountain next to it. On the hillside, I saw the incomparable lake view. After being immersed in the beauty of Jiayulacuo Lake for a long time, we chose to ride a motorcycle down the mountain due to altitude sickness. Going down a windy mountain road, the scenery in front of us kept changing. The green of the mountains and the beauty of the wildflowers came into view again, swaying in the wind as if saying goodbye to us. Firewire to Dangling, we continued along the path in the village. There were very few trees nearby, basically all were alpine grasslands. The wind was very strong, and the air was very thin. The car was a bit powerless at this time, and we drove to the pass with difficulty. On the top of the mountain were many pyres and windhorse flags. The snow-capped mountain in the distance was Xiaqianlashan Mountain. Across the mountain was where we hiked today. Soon after we came down the mountain, we arrived at Yuke Town. There were vast grasslands between the mountains here. The grass had turned yellow at this time. On the side of the road was a newly built Tibetan Buddhism temple in the town. Tibetans basically all believed in Tibetan Buddhism, and these temples were built with donations from the villagers. We continue on our journey to Maerkang city. As we drove forward, we could clearly feel that the altitude had finally dropped and the weather had changed from cloudy and rainy to sunny. While wrestling on the roadside, I was attracted by a prayer wheel on the stream. This is a prayer wheel driven by a water flow. There are prayer scriptures engraved on a prayer wheel. Each turn is equivalent to chanting a prayer. Standing by the stream, listening to the sound of the water flow and the turning of the prayer wheel, I thought of the Tibetan people who have lived on this land for generations. They live in harmony with nature and use their wisdom and hard work to create these cultural landscapes that are integrated with nature. The bridge on the top of the mountain is a highway under construction leading to Tibet. After completion, the travel time from Chengdu to the western Sichuan and Tibet areas will be greatly shortened. Supplies to Tibet can be delivered quickly, and Tibetan specialties can appear more frequently in big cities. In the evening, we arrived at Maerkang city, which means the place with Weiger's flames in Tibetan, and also symbolizes a place of prosperity. The city is the capital of Garze Tibetan and Jiayulacuo Autonomous Prefecture. How can we miss a yak beef hotpot when we come to western Sichuan? The yak beef is stewed with mountain mushrooms, such as mesutake and porcini, and the aroma is overflowing. As we eating the hot yak hotpot, we will never feel tired again. Today is the last day of our trip. We are going to Changlie Temple in Maerkang city. The weather was gloomy. As the car gradually approached Changlie mountain, the heavy fog came unexpectedly. Take a look at this winding mountain road. The world outside the car seems to be shrouded in a mysterious white veil, and the visibility becomes very low. This undoubtedly adds difficulty and danger to the journey up the mountain. We had to drive very carefully. It can be seen that the car in front was also driving very carefully. After some cautious driving, we finally arrived at Changlie Temple, but the appearance of Changlie Temple was almost invisible. Changlie means a retreat place in Tibetan. This place has been where great monks to practice retreat since ancient times. Changlie Temple was built in the 1240s and belongs to the Nyingma sect of Tibetan Buddhism. So far, it has a long history of more than 800 years and is one of the famous temples in the Nyingma sect. In the 1980s, the temple and religious believers worked together to carry out meticulous renovation and reconstruction on the basis of the original buildings. The Changlie Temple is a stone and wood structure with 2 floors, mainly consisting of a foyer, a prayer hall, and a main hall, and it covers an area of 620 square meters. This temple has extremely high historical and artistic value. It has witnessed the passage of time, carries the power of faith, and shows the unique charm and profound cultural heritage of Tibetan Buddhism to the world. As a unique religious implement, the prayer wheel carries the piety and prayers of believers. When you rotate the prayer wheel, it makes a slight gulu-gulu sound, as if you are whispering with the deities. Every rotation means the scriptures have been recited once and a merit has been accumulated. Here, people hold the prayer wheel, recite the scriptures, and slowly turn it in a clockwise direction. Their eyes reveal concentration and piety, and the air is filled with a tranquil and solemn atmosphere. The temple we are entering is the Guanyin Hall. In the center is a statue of the thousand-armed Guanyin Buddha. Surrounding the hall, there are small statues of Guanyin Bodhisattva in the niches on the walls. Guanyin Bodhisattva is a relatively common deity in Buddhism. People usually believe that Guanyin Bodhisattva can hear and realize their wishes, so there are many believers. When we walked out of the temple, the heavy fog outside had already dispersed. On the top of the mountain, watching the changes in clouds and mist, it looked like a traditional Chinese landscape painting, and our journey is coming to an end. Finally, we have returned home. In Sichuan, of course, we have to eat Sichuan hot pot. This red oil hot pot is fried with beef tallow. It is fragrant but not greasy. It is served with ingredients such as beef and beef trap. This is real Sichuan flavor. While this trip to Western Sichuan ends here, since the journey was short, many places have not been explored yet. Let's explore them next time. I hope you are doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!